Hey folks, it's Potato the Moose. This video is going to be a pretty short one because I was stupid and forgot I was supposed to film it until I started shading the background, and also because I've been pretty focused on graduating high school so I can finally escape the sensory hell of the average American public school classroom. Senior year is almost done, and hopefully I'll have more time to create content in between uh, getting set up to move out and go to college after I graduate, and I'm honestly really looking forward to the change in my life, both the moving and the hopefully being able to create more content. California is my home, and it'll always have a very special place in my heart, but it's high time for a change of scenery. In true Potato the Moose fashion, I also want to apologize in advance for any weird sounds my mic might pick up. I'm still working on streamlining my audio recording process, and it's getting better, but there's still some room for improvement, and it's been a lot of trial and error. If you need to turn this video on mute and flick on the subtitles, that is completely fine. I don't blame you. Anyways, without further ado, on to the actual art piece. For this drawing, I had to do battle with perspective. I've been pushing myself more and more to experiment with new techniques in my art, and of course, trying to draw from more extreme angles comes with that territory. I set out to draw my OC Lilac Rook, who is a character from my Open World Warrior Cats RP, which I will be linking in the description below. I figured she'd be a good guinea pig, or I guess in this case, guinea cat, especially since this particular drawing that I wanted to do with her required a view of the sky. I had a vision in my head where we would be able to see the crows above her, silhouetted against the heavens, so I had to find a way to do that while also keeping the focus of the image on her, which definitely presented a challenge. The sketch phase involved a lot of positioning and repositioning, and I found I had to tilt her at a very specific, subtle angle to get what I was going for, and even now, I still don't think I got it right. The crows were also held to draw, and I ended up having to pull up references of flocks of crows taking flight in order to get the positioning correct. I think it really paid off since it did let me see real world my stutter is back again. Real world variation in wing and body position. If I hadn't, I think this piece would have lost a lot of its dynamic movement. Coupled with the very arduous process of drawing the sky in the background, I do think I really challenged myself this time around, and I am ultimately very proud of the end result. As a character, Lilac Rook is very interesting, so I also want to get into talking about her a little bit in this video. She started life as a member of an unnamed coven of cats who had their own religion that involved each cat learning the sign and dream interpretation that medicine cats do in the clans. Her birth name was Florence, after Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine, who is her voice claim and the artist behind her theme song, which, that's 3 witches in a row, became the basis for much of her backstory. The song itself, which you should absolutely go listen to, it slaps, carries a lot of witch trial and heretic imagery. The lyrics are actually symbolic of a toxic relationship in many places, but the beautiful thing about art is that it's often up to interpretation. The line, "Who's a heretic now?" made me think that maybe Lilac Rook came to the clans because she lost her coven. The words could have a double meaning, where she's a heretic by leaving her coven behind, but her coven was also destroyed because another group saw them as heretics as well. Effectively, her entire life was destroyed by the feline equivalent of a historical witch trial, and she was forced to flee. "I'm Miles Away" shows just how far she fled and how distant her old life feels for her now. The description of her heart being burned but not buried this time illustrates the trauma and resilience that are so integral to where she stands today. I was also experimentally watching The Witcher on Netflix at the time, so some of the character themes seen in Yennefer also became part of her personality and background. Now, quick audio quality jump scare. Sorry. I'm recording this on a different day, this part of the take. Pretend it's the same. Pretend it's the same. It's fine. It's okay. Pretend it's the same. Anyways, Lilac Rook was also an adopted design, so some of the aspects of her character were also pre-made. She didn't have much detail on her when I initially got her, but the crow imagery I saw her depicted with and the mood board that I saw that she was based off of immediately gave me something to go on. I turned her into a quiet, wise, level-headed character with a resting expression that made her look done with everything. I also decided that she could communicate with crows, which is not the first time I've written a cat who can talk to birds, and definitely won't be the last. It's a really fun trope. I think more people should try it out. I personally really enjoy writing it. I think it adds extra depth to their characters, but where am I going with this? Back on track. When I finally put her into Stars and Springs, I also referenced my own experiences as a pagan to influence how her previous coven worked, which carries over into the way she handles religion in RP. At the time of making this video, a lot of it is still being fleshed out, but I do feel like I have a very good basis to go off of at this point. I'm also very proud of what I did with her name. I like to give my warrior cat OCs names that carry kind of significance and meaning to them as a character. The books kind of do that, but for me it always really falls flat, so I named her Lilac as her prefix, which is a type of purple, after the color of her eyes, and then Rook as her suffix, which is a type of corvid. Also, yes, I'm aware that there was another audio quality jump scare right there, another audio quality change jump scare right there. This is my third day of recording this. It has taken me literally weeks, so please bear with me. In a brief tangent about character and world building, I'd also like to just talk briefly about how I come up with most of my ideas. My advice is this, and it's pretty simple. Reference media you really like, and reference real life. What this means is up to you, but usually I take it to mean synthesizing multiple sources. Look at the world around you for inspiration. Put your observations and interests in the characters. Don't shy away from talking about real-world issues in what you create, but do so with care. Don't be scared of taking inspiration from the shows, books, and games you like. And honestly, mix things together until you find something that you, personally, are proud of and think you can enjoy. Stars and Springs alone is the result of a diverse array of experiences and ideas I've encountered, so you really do have a lot that you can play around with. One of the most prevalent historical events in the RP's lore is based loosely on World War I and the American Civil War in terms of battle conditions. The RP itself takes place in and is heavily influenced by Yellowstone National Park. Some of my most beloved characters in that RP also have their roots in characters from media that I was enjoying at the time of creating them, such as Sniper from TF2 and Il Capitano from Genshin Impact. Some of the cats dwell in a factory from the Second Industrial Revolution, and the concept of warrior cats clans with their own distinct gods aside from just StarClan was actually a concept that I saw first in other creators and then adapted to my own work. The thing is that the human brain can't really conceive something completely original and never before thought of all on its own because the world only really has so many things in it, but it can mix together lots of different ideas to create something unique. Inspiration has to come from somewhere, and you shouldn't be afraid to take it.
Where are you going? Going so fast tonight. Have you ever stopped beside the road to smell the rose of life? Take a breath now. Don't hold it in too long, 'cause you might end up missing out on life's short little song.
as I mentioned before in this video, I'm gonna graduate from high school soon and start packing up to move away to college. I'm pretty nervous about it, but I'm also very thrilled. I'm about to be free in a way I haven't before, and after having a very traumatic and tumultuous experience with the school system, especially middle and high school, I'm happy to have a fresh start. I'll be moving up to Oregon, which is really beautiful from what I've seen, and gets much more rain than California does, which is nice because it's hot and sad and dry here, and I don't like that about it. They also make you wait at gas stations for an employee to pump your gas, which is really weird to me, but to each their own, I guess. Laws across states kind of boggle my mind sometimes, and I think this is probably one of the tamer ones, to be fair. Of course, dorm living won't exactly be luxurious either, but I'm considering it a trade-off. I get to have more freedom as an adult in exchange for a smaller space and less room for myself. I'll probably talk more about it in another video, but long story short, I'm nervous. I don't know how many roommates I'm gonna have. I don't know who my roommates are gonna be. I don't like that I can't just bring the entire house away to college with me, and I'm packing very meticulously because I don't want to be up in Oregon for college and then think to myself, where's that thing I need? Oh shit, I left it in California!
Can you let go of it all tonight? Or will you decide to push on through and ignore the words inside? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you'll find you're missing out a last short little song. She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live, don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live, don't let it go. Don't let it go. Got one life to live. You've got one life to live. Don't let it go.
I think I'm gonna say that this is where I'm gonna end today's video. If I keep going any longer, I'm going to either end up repeating myself or getting off topic, and I don't want to do either of those things, so we're gonna call it here. If you enjoyed today's video, please also consider liking, leaving a comment, subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, drink water and stay safe out there.